All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you your Capricorn full moon video, take 2 for July 13th, 2022. I'm so happy right now. This is a very valuable and beautiful lesson of exactly what this Capricorn full moon is all about. I just put out a Capricorn full moon video. It's about 21 minutes long, packed full of astrological juicy knowledge and whatever. And for some reason, my computer, when I cut away from this video to the chart, the sound cut out. This is a beautiful representation of this full moon. Why? Because look, something happened in life. Something happened here in my professional world that can affect my reputation. Emotional moon over there in Cancer, or emotional moon over there in Capricorn. And I could be here dwelling on these emotions of, oh, I messed up, I screwed something up, something went wrong, yada, 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 get in my head of all of this stuff. And instead, I went outside, I did some yard work for a little while and downloaded this and just started laughing. Just laughing as the universe is saying, yes, this is the lessons that we have to talk about. This is what we need to communicate now. So I'm going to leave that other video up, but we're going to talk more here, and we're going to talk. So hopefully when I cut over to the chart here, I've remedied the problem, fixed it, and made a solution here. So we can talk about the astrology. We can talk about what's going on and see maybe a greater depiction of what this means. Now, the Capricorn goat doesn't give up. And the moon is representation of our emotional needs in Capricorn, the sign furthest away from its home in the sign of Cancer. I'm wearing this blue shirt with little anchors all over it here, which is like a perfect water, and the anchor is Saturn and Capricorn. So the emotional need is the moon. And that mountain goat faces what seems to be extreme conditions. And it runs up the side of these cliffs that you and I would look at and just, how in the world does it do that? And it just runs and it runs, and it's so playful in its ability to maneuver this ground that seems not possible to walk on, let alone to run on, and to go vertical up to do what? To get its food, to be fulfilled, to lick that sweet salt going up the mountain or down the mountain. Okay, it's an emotional necessity. Now we have, here we go, let's check it out, here we go. We have the sun down here in the sign of Cancer, conjunct Mercury, which is our mind, our communication, our mental awareness, how we're communicating with ourselves, how we're communicating with others. Are we getting lost in an emotional whirlwind? Are we getting lost in our emotional stew, sitting there stirring in our minds? Now, the moon here, again, is home. Sign associated with the moon is Cancer. The sign associated with the sun is Leo. And we talked about this in this last video, which we'll disregard it, but again, I'll keep it up. If the sun were to have its own chart, well, this would flip from 0 degrees Aries to 0 degrees Leo, just as it would be the rising sign of the sun. So that puts Cancer in the 12th house. This is just theoretically being playful here. So every year when the sun comes to the sign of Cancer, we experience this emotional lull. We experience this going inward, just like the 12th house does in your chart. Wherever your 12th house would be, is like a time of rest. It's a time to take a moment for oneself before beginning a journey again, coming back to the first house, that Aries energy. So we can have things that have happened in our lives now, that where emotionally we feel restricted, emotionally we feel overwhelmed. This is an opportunity to feel emotionally beautifully whelmed, not overwhelmed or underwhelmed, but beautifully whelmed. There's no manure, no magic, right? I already like this video more than I like the last one because of that sweet lesson that was learned through trial and error, through execution and seemingly failure. And if it weren't for my beautiful friends here responding with such a quickness that, hey, Aaron, your video cut out, which I didn't check and overlooked on my part, this sound cuts out when it does this. So had that not happened, had the manure not happened, the magic wouldn't be here now to deliver this message again in a more exciting way for us to learn these astrological lessons. So has something happened in our lives where we've given a lot of energy? Now, before I get on to that, the sign of Cancer is the martyr of the zodiac, meaning we put all of this energy into something. We do this, and I've done this for you, and time again, and I do these things, and I do these things, and I never get it back, and I'm the damsel in distress, or I'm, I do all these things, and I put all this out, and it never comes back my way. Okay, we can erase that. All right, we don't need to be that sense of martyr. We don't need to sit there in our minds and feel this way. We do the things that we do because we love to do them, not because of what we're expecting back. So when we've had things go in our lives that haven't worked out how we hoped they would have, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a love, romantic relationship, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a work association, associate, maybe it's a boss, something, maybe we've put a lot of time and energy into this thing, whatever it may be, and it seemingly closed the door on us, or it didn't work out how we intended it to. That's okay. There are no mistakes in the universe. There are no mistakes in the grand scheme. These are opportunities for us to learn, just like this here, and for us to create something even better out of the magic that came from the manure. Very powerful lessons. Now let's go back to the chart here. We have the sun, Mercury not quite yet, but the sun creating this trine over here to Neptune. All right. Now Neptune here is our dreams. It's our creativity. It can be the black hole. It can be the abyss, where when we have the sun in this state right now, the trine is an easy flow of energy between two of the same elements: water Pisces, water Earth, water Cancer, and then we have a water Cancer to water Scorpio, the south node here. We'll talk about that in a moment. So we can certainly be in our minds that, oh, these things didn't work out, or I put all my energy into this and it's never come back my way. Again, we can almost put that on hold, or just away with it for a moment, because that thing that didn't work out wasn't supposed to. You cannot screw something up that wasn't meant for you. It is not possible. You cannot screw something up that wasn't meant for you. So if it wasn't meant for you, that's okay. That means something better is coming along. The relationship of your dreams is coming along. The partnership of your dreams, the friendship of your dreams is coming along. The work opportunity of your dreams is coming along. And in the world of dreams, and in this emotional world of Cancer here, we're talking about dreams, Neptune, Pisces, and the emotional world of Cancer. These are things that you can't touch, taste, smell, see, and hear. This is not measurable by science. Capricorn energy. Not measurable. So how good can it get? So when we get out of the rut of our emotional rut, which is very common in Cancer season, where we become the hermit, we become the hermit crab, the retreating back into our shell, becoming a recluse, which is, again, perfect time. It's okay to take a time to rest. It's okay to take time for yourself and allow yourself to heal. There's no rushing a healing. Trevor Hall, right? There's no rushing a healing. Thank you for putting up my singing. Darkness has its teachings. So this is part of our manure and magic. And then across the way, of course, we have the goat that doesn't give up, emotionally needing to. I'm not going to give up on myself just because the relationship didn't work out, just because this job didn't work out, just because this one thing seemed like a dead end. Maybe there was no salt here. There was no food. There was no thing. Once I reached the destination, it wasn't available for me. Well, we're not giving up, because if we give up, we starve to death. There's no coming back from that give up. And this is the beauty of having Pluto here right now, which is about death and resurrection and transformation, the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's like, sweet child, you are okay. Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. Trust this process. Don't rush the process. The moon here is creating two extremely powerful connections to our personal planet. Now, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, we consider these in astrology our personal planets, the ones that affect us the absolute most. Doesn't mean Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto don't affect us. They're just the outer planets that work in a different way, on a more global and just a different way. So our personal planets here, they're all being connected to the moon. All right, our emotional need to strive, our emotional need to put one foot in front of another, our emotional need to not give up on ourselves, to not give up on others. Okay, Saturn rules Capricorn. So where's Saturn? It's here in the community side of Aquarius. That's what Aquarius is all about. It's about knowing, and it's about the community, our social gathering. So it's an emotional need to show up for ourselves. It's an emotional need to show up for our emotional self, for ourself. And then we're connecting here a septile to Venus and a septile over here to Mars. These are extremely, extremely powerful connections. Those septiles are a fate and destined connection. It's otherworldly aspects compared to a square in opposition, a trine, or a sextile, okay? Those septiles mean that the sweeping hand of fate or the universe is coming in to offer something. So Venus being in the sign of Gemini is saying, look at both sides of the coin. If this didn't exist, this wouldn't exist. Without the manure, there's no magic. Without the dark, there's no light. Without, so on and so forth. So it means also there's a time, a desire to learn, a desire to look at both sides of the coin, a desire to seek information out that's going to help us out, seeking whatever is going to be fruitful for us. Now, the septile coming down to connect with Mars, Mars is in detriment in the sign of Taurus. Its home would be in the sign of Aries and the sign of Scorpio. Well, Mars is in its opposite from Scorpio over here in Taurus. It's the slowest moving sign of the zodiac. Slow and steady wins the race. There's no rushing a healing. There's no rushing a healing. There's no putting the carriage before the horse in this energy. And Mars will retrograde here, I believe in August. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but we'll talk about it. Mars will retrograde this year. So when we have Mars retrograde years, it only retrogrades once every 2 years, where Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year. Venus retrogrades once every 9 months, every year and a half. And then all the outer planets will retrograde once a year for about 5 to 6 months. So Mars is that kind of lone warrior who is a companion of the sun, but they butt heads a little bit. It sometimes deals with anger and aggression, but it also deals with passion and a drive. It's the motivation that gets us going. So we have Mars here connecting with the moon, and it's saying one step at a time, one breath at a time, one heartbeat at a time, one day at a time. We cannot rush this, and there's no need to rush this. We can take all the time we need. Nature doesn't rush, but everything gets done. Nature doesn't rush, but everything gets done. Now, nature, we are the guardians and gardeners of this planet. And if you, my friends, have house plants of your own or trees out in your yard, you know that pruning is something that's extremely important. Now, we have the sun creating a trine, that easy flow of energy here to the south node. We have the moon creating a sextile over here to the south node in the emotional sign of Scorpio, the watery sign of Scorpio. So the sextile here is earth and water, which is just the most beautiful connections, these sextiles, because it's 2 different elements that are working together in an easy flow of energy. Water to water is an easy flow of the same energy. So we have this opportunity to sit with ourselves, to sit with our emotions, to not stir, to not beat ourselves up, because we have to succeed. You depend on it. Okay? And both of these creating this connection to the south node here is this pruning. Now, what we talked about in this last video, again, I don't know what was cut out and what. It was kind of unwatchable. I saw 30 seconds, so I was like, no, we're doing this again. So here we are. So the south node is about releasing and letting go. It's where we came from. The north node is where we're headed here in Taurus, which is where we're recreating. Uranus is connected with Taurus. Mars here now in Taurus. Uranus is breakthrough. It's the eureka moment. It's the aha, the lightning strike, the earthquake. It's unsettling. It shakes things up. And the traditional sign of Taurus, we're shaking things up that traditionalists or old world, you can even say patriarchal, don't want to be stirred up. But it's necessary. And just the same as we're pruning our garden, we're pruning the leaves, we're pruning our plants because it's dead. This thing no longer serves us. And if we just keep this dead branch, this dead leaf, this thing that's no longer receiving the flow of life, that sweet prana into this, it's only by us putting energy into it and leaving it there. It's sucking energy out from other places that want to flourish. So we can talk about, sex, money, power, Scorpio. Yeah. We talk about fear and uncertainty. The unknown is really a beautiful way to look at Scorpio, is the unknown. And fears. Fears can keep us safe. Fears, we use these fears as building blocks to our lives that help us out when we're children or when we're growing up. I had this relationship and I loved this individual so much, so much. And I gave and I gave and I gave. And it went, and it just in my face and it blew up and they went off and they pranced on their merry way and left me to sulk in all these emotions. And so as a result, I am never going to love again, or I'm never going to trust again, or I'm never going to put myself out there again. Well, the astrology is saying something different. The astrology is saying there's an emotional need to persevere. There's an emotional need to dust yourself off and get back out on the monkey bars, to get out there and play with your friends at recess, to get out there and socialize, to get out there and communicate. And even if it's communicating these hard things, we're not alone in this energy. That's what's so beautiful with Mercury so close to the sun here and creating all the other aspects that it is. Look, Mercury's also creating this beautiful sextile to the North Node and to Uranus. We get to shake things up. We get to break free, like an earthquake, break free from those limiting beliefs and connect with our dreams, the unknown possibilities of how good something can be when we make this emotional connection with our moon and say, yes, I can. Yes, I can show up for myself. Yes, I can show up for others. Yes, I can get out of this funk that I'm in. I can learn new knowledge. I have the ability to learn. And sometimes with these particular cases here, with these septiles, it's like when we say yes to something, the teacher arrives when the student is ready. This aspect is saying the knowledge is going to be presented to you because you are opening yourself up and being ready. By saying, yes, I'm open to love. Yes, I'm open to this endeavor. Yes, I'm open to whatever this thing is that I might have been closed off from before. When I'm saying yes to this, the universe is literally just delivering this to you here. And you're like, wow, that was almost effortless. And so it shall be. This is the power of manifestation. And we are constantly manifesting one another. We're constantly manifesting the individuals in our lives that are going to teach us, that are going to help share knowledge with us. We're manifesting these individuals that can do the things also that we can't do, that show us a part of our light or the mirrors to ourselves. So this is something else we talked about in the last video as well. It's extremely important connecting with Jupiter. Jupiter and Chiron here in the sign of Aries. And Saturn here connecting the septile. So these are semi-septiles, these little purple lines here that the moon is creating. All right. And Saturn here creating a septile to Chiron. This is about loving yourself. This is about loving yourself. And I've talked about this before on this channel. And we've seen, if you can Google, there's like a Dalmatian deer. Now, whether that's photoshopped or not, who knows? But either way, let's roll with it as if it's not. That we can see animals in nature that don't always look like every other animal, you know, every other one. Like, wow, there's something different about, you know, this speckled deer or this whatever it may be. And us, to the human eye, we see that as beautiful. Wow, how amazing is that? But when we look at ourselves and our own differences, when we look at ourselves, our own uniquenesses, we'll go with it, our differences that separate us from the other, we can be judgmental and hard on ourselves. This is all this emotional moon up here in Capricorn, judgmental on ourselves and critical, hypercritical of how we are perceived in the outside world. As we can't always see the emotions that live within us, Saturn is the representation of our physical body, of our physical emotions in the outside world. So we have this opportunity to see our own beauty in our own uniqueness. And Cancer can have this home, you know, it is home and motherly love. Nurturing energy, surrender energy, right? How long can you stay awake before eventually the moon comes up and you go down? We surrender to the moon. We surrender to that nurturing, healing aspects of the moon. It's going to heal the body. It's going to heal our emotions. It's going to heal our mind. And across the way, our emotional moon in Capricorn, we can get up and we can make things happen. In Capricorn, this is big business. This is Wall Street. Cancer, Main Street, mom and pop shops. Very different, huge contrast. So the mountain goat teaches us to be playful in our endeavors. It teaches us to be playful while we're working. It teaches us to be playful while we're working through these emotions, which is very powerful. And again, this connection here to Pluto is saying that we can transform our mind from being so business serious cookie cutter and we have to leave certain emotions out of workplace, or to be a respected astrologer and to put out this good stuff, to not have a slip up like what I just did and put out a video that the sound cuts out halfway through. I don't care. Leave it. Go with it, you know, and I'm letting it be a beautiful lesson for myself and whatever else. So we have this opportunity to expand beyond these limitations that are put on us, or that seemingly are put on us by the world. So it's being happy with ourselves, Saturn in community, connecting with Chiron, saying it's okay that you're you. It's okay to be the perfectly beautiful person that you are, in all your beauty, in all your flaws, in all your love, and all your glory, and exactly who you are. You are perfectly you. And again, there's no way for you to mess up something that wasn't meant for you. And to love yourself, to honor yourself, to love every little piece of you, to adore yourself, and to allow yourself to shine that light and to go out into your community and share it. This little light of mine. Yeah, okay. I know I'm super cheesy, but that's part of the beauty. Now we're going to talk about Jupiter here in Aries as well. This Jupiter in Aries only comes around once every 12 years. And being in the sign of Aries, Aries is the baby of the zodiac. Fingers and toes, the tip of my nose is all I know. I'm going to go toward the light, go toward what feels good, and just go away from the darkness, go away from what feels bad. It's simplistic in its nature. Jupiter is the magnifying glass of the zodiac. So we're going to highlight everything. We're going to see more of self, more playfulness, more assertiveness is an aspect that we can look at in the sign of Aries. Assertiveness. In my meditations, meditate and learn from these planets. And the universe says that we're just little babies, that we're just a bunch of little babies. And the universe reminds me and says, no, you're actually not as strong as babies, because babies have a strong will. A will that goes from not being able to move to wanting to crawl. From wanting to crawl to wanting to walk. Wanting to walk, wanting to run. The kid wants to be an independent. That little baby, that little child wants, it's got a will to live. It has a will. It doesn't matter how many times that toddler is going to fall on its face or fall off the bike. It's going to get up and do it again and again and again until it gets it right. This is the same for us right now. All of these things could have happened. They don't happen to us, they happen for us. So all of these things can happen for us, and our will to be assertive, our will to get up, our will to want to succeed, our will to want to put one foot in front of another and try again. Cross-country skiing and doing handstands, you have to lean into it. And both of these things will make you fall on your face time and time again. But the best cross-country skiers, the best people at handstands, have been able to learn from their falling down and getting back up. And lean into that unknown, and allow that momentum to carry us. So we have this beautiful opportunity here as adults to refine that will, that strength, that inner child that wants to come out and say, yes, I'm an independent. Yes, I'm an individual. Yes, I have aspirations. Yes, I have desires. Yes, I have things I want to accomplish in my life. And then I don't have to, the kid's not leaning on crutches. The little baby doesn't need crutches as it's learning to walk. That's something we do. When you need crutches, you need crutches. But what I'm saying is we don't need to lean on things. We lean on drugs. We lean on television. We lean on social media. We lean on whatever. We lean on strong people. No, this is an opportunity to come back to self and find our own strength, to find those things that make us tick, the things that get us up in the morning and get us moving. What is it that makes us want to run? What do we want to run toward? And in this time of rest, something we chatted about in the last one, I don't know where it got cut off, but the world is noisy right now. The world is so noisy with everyone's agenda wanting to pull you. Saturn is in Capricorn. Saturn's the boss. Saturn's in Aquarius, Saturn's the boss. And in Aquarius, which deals with technology and deals with the community and knowing. So there's all of this knowing being put out into the world. All of this agendas being put out into the world saying this. And you need to focus your time and energy on this movement. And you need to focus your time and energy on this movement. And you need to focus all of your time and energy on this. Well, Saturn and Capricorn is Chronos, Father Time. Our emotional need, how much time can we put into something? That's another beautiful aspect of being manifestors, and we're all connected here. Now, emotionally, we're connected. Through the emotions, through the water elements, we're all connected. Capricorn and Aries say, I'm an individual. I cannot walk for you. I cannot lift the weights for you. I cannot breathe for you. I cannot beat your heart for you. Are we all connected? This string theory, this oneness? Absolutely. But you have to do the work yourself. And what work are you doing here? This is extremely important, as the world is so much pulling and pulling and pulling and saying, I need you for this, and I need you for this, and I need you for this, and I need you for this. And this is an opportunity to take a rest, to come back into ourselves, to find out where is our emotional need necessary to give back to the community, to be of service to humanity, to be of service to ourselves, how we're giving back. And we can be pulled in the direction of we need to focus on this animal cruelty. We need to focus on saving the water. We need to focus on saving the rainforest. We need to be focused on whatever it may be. All of these things are extremely important. We cannot do all of them ourselves. And the beautiful thing is we are manifestors. We are manifested as well. The world has manifested you to play your role. And when the world itself is saying, I don't need you to play your role right now. I need you to come over here and join my role. I need you to come over here and talk about astrology with me. That might not be your role. I need you to come over here and talk about this cause. That might not be your role. It doesn't mean you don't care about it. What it means is we need to focus our time and energy on the things that we can do to help, and having trust in the universe that those individuals are being manifested, that are helping in those causes. Otherwise, we get spread so thin and we get very, very confused. Again, I don't want to be mistaken here for saying that it's not caring or not empathetic or sympathetic to those causes, those cares, and those needs of others and those individuals. But we know by sitting with ourselves what is our ability and what is not, what is in our capability to help out and what's not. And do we have this sense of suffering, this need to suffer? We can look at the world, and that's a drug in itself. It's a disease in itself, and saying that I need to suffer with all of these things. When we have the opportunity to look at this and say, no, look at all of these people here that are helping this cause, and all of these people here are helping this cause, and all these people here are helping this cause. And if I can, and if it's in my ability to, I'm glad to help out where I can. But if I'm being spread between these 20 different avenues and fighting somebody else's fight and all of these other causes, it's deterring and distracting me away from what I need to be. So another way to look at this is, if the banana tree is yelling at the apple tree to be a banana, then the apple tree will never be the service of being the apple. We need the banana tree, we need the apple tree, we need the grapes, the watermelons, all of the beautiful berries, and all of the fruits and vegetables, and we need the oak tree to be the oak tree. We need the sequoia to be the sequoia. We need everything to play its individual role. And taking the time for ourselves right now, if we're being pulled in 20 different directions, or 30 or 40, or maybe even 7, I don't know, to take time for ourselves and say, where can I give? And not to be upset with myself if I can't give in that area. We can start small. We can start community-wise. Again, our emotional moon here, transformative. Let's make things happen in the sign of Capricorn. And ruling planet of Capricorn, Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, says, let's be here for our community. Now, how can we show up for our community? That's important. So this is the way that we're going to have emotional fulfillment. So we're not lost and stirring in this idea that I can't be in all these places at once. I can't help out this, or I want to help out this, and I want to help out this, and I care about this and this and this and this. And then we have, again, that feeling of being overwhelmed instead of beautifully whelmed in the abilities that we have in order to help out. Right now, the sun in Cancer, and the moon is in Sagittarius while I'm making this video. So the moon in Sagittarius is the centaur, the journey. The horse body with the man top, meaning we have consciousness. We have the ability to think and to discern right from wrong. We have the ability to discern and learn. And that horse body says that there is no terrain that's going to stop us. There's no, no mountain that's too big. There's no river that's too deep, in a sense. That we have the ability to explore. We have the ability to journey off into the unknown. We have the ability to do that without feeling limited. So we have this opportunity to learn whatever it is that we need to learn to get us better tools to help us out during this time. We have the expansion available for us. So the moon is now in Sagittarius before it enters Capricorn in the next couple of days. Ruling planet of Sagittarius, Jupiter. Where's Jupiter? In Aries. This is about you. This is about you and your journey right now. And what do you need to emotionally fulfill yourself? What do you need to nurture yourself so that you can give back to the community? What do you need to release? South Node in Scorpio. What do you need to cut off? And when we hold on to those fears, when we hold on to those building blocks of life that we have built over time that have kept us safe, and we remove them from us, or they're stripped from us, Maybe here we go. Uranus so closely conjunct here with the North Node, meaning it's in opposition to the South Node. Meaning if you're not in an active place pruning, the universe will do it for you, whether you like it or not. That dead limb, that dead branch, that dead fear, that dead emotion, that thing that no longer serves you will be ripped from you, whether you like it or not. But it's for the better. It's so that you can give your light and your energy to the areas that will allow you to flourish. And doing so can feel like we got an arm cut off. It can feel like we're missing that limb, we're missing that thing. If we're trying to alleviate, if we've been relying on drugs, if we've been relying on social media or leaning again, and not being that strong, persistent toddler, if we've been leaning on these things as an adult, adolescent, whoever's watching this, it's going to feel awkward to not have that thing. And we might want to go back to that thing that brought us comfort. And the astrology is saying we can find comfort in discomfort. We can find comfort in this new beginning. We might have loved that thing so much. We might have loved that relationship. We might have loved that job. We might have loved this thing. And when that door shuts or when that pruning happens and it's cut off, not being stuck emotionally, mentally stuck and fixated on that thing, but allowing ourselves to expand, allowing ourselves to say, I was once a toddler. I was once a child. That I needed training wheels on my bike. I no longer need those training wheels. And that means I'm going to fall off and I'm going to skid my knee or hit my face. It's going to happen. And that's okay. We try and try again to not give up on ourselves. And to find that comfort in the uncomfortable is okay, because we have all the tools right now. The universe is giving us all the tools to learn something new, to experience something new. How good can life get? How good can it be? It's immeasurable. Immeasurable. So my friends, thank you for sticking with me here for this second one. Hopefully there was something came out that didn't come out in the first one, or whatever it may be. Beautiful lessons. No manure, no magic. My friends, there is magic all around. I love you. I wish you enough. Happy full mooning.